Some of the places we are about to show in today's video are dream destinations for many people. For others, they are landscapes that remain almost completely unknown. From one-of-a-kind deserts to lakes that seem to defy logic, these extraordinary places captivate visitors with their beauty and uniqueness. They are destinations that only a fortunate few have had the opportunity to experience in person. Take a break from the stress and fast pace of everyday life and join us as we explore some of the most breathtaking places on our planet. General Carrera Lake. This is one of those places that seems to exist beyond ordinary logic. Stretching across the border between Chile and Argentina, it first amazes visitors with its immense size, before captivating them with the remarkable color of its water. Located in the Patagonia region, the lake is known as General Carrera Lake on the Chilean side and Lake Buenos Aires on the Argentine side. Together, they form the largest lake in Chile and the second largest lake in South America. Covering more than 700 square miles of water, it is surrounded by mountains, glaciers, forests, and valleys that remain largely untouched. The lake's origin dates back to the end of the last ice age. Thousands of years ago, massive glaciers covered this entire region. As the climate gradually warmed, the ice slowly retreated, carving enormous depressions into the landscape. Once the melting stabilized, these natural basins filled with water, giving birth to the lake we see today. The lake's greatest icon, however, is the famous marble caves. These extraordinary formations began taking shape around 6,000 years ago, as the lake's waves slowly eroded massive blocks of marble. Over time, nature sculpted a remarkable network of caves, tunnels, and columns, creating one of the world's rarest geological spectacles. The marble displays beautiful shades of white, gray, and blue that constantly change depending on the sunlight and the color of the surrounding water. Visits to the caves usually take place aboard small boats or kayaks. This close-up experience allows visitors to appreciate details that would be impossible to notice from a distance. The walls reveal intricate natural patterns carved by erosion, while the sound of the water echoes through the chambers. Very few places combine such intensely colored water, unique geological formations, snow-covered mountains, active glaciers, and such a profound sense of isolation within a single landscape. Before we discover one of the most incredible lakes on Earth, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you'll be alerted every time we publish a new video. Kaindy Lake. There is a place in Kazakhstan where an entire forest never disappeared. It simply changed locations. Instead of growing on land, its trunks now rise from beneath the water, creating a landscape that feels almost surreal from the very first glance. Kaindy Lake lies within Kolsai National Park, near the border with Kyrgyzstan, in a mountainous region surrounded by dense conifer forests. Despite its growing popularity today, this extraordinary place remained known for many years only to local residents and adventurous travelers exploring the valleys of the Tian Shan mountain range. The story of this lake began with an incredibly violent event. In January of 1911, one of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded in Central Asia struck the Almaty region. The quake triggered massive landslides that completely reshaped several valleys. In one of them, millions of tons of rock rushed down the mountainside, forming an enormous natural dam. Gradually, rainwater and snowmelt accumulated behind this barrier. The entire valley slowly flooded, while thousands of trees remained standing exactly where they had originally grown. Instead of being swept away by the current, they became trapped beneath the icy water, preserving a scene that seems to defy all logic. From a distance, the lake's surface appears calm and peaceful. Up close, however, dozens of dark tree trunks rise vertically through the water. They resemble the masts of ancient ships, creating a landscape that transforms completely depending on the fog, the sunlight, or the direction of the wind. The waters of Kaindy Lake remain incredibly cold throughout nearly the entire year. Even during the warmest months, temperatures stay low because of the lake's high elevation and the continuous supply of meltwater from the surrounding mountains. These conditions played a crucial role in preserving the submerged forest. The cold water dramatically slowed the natural decomposition of the wood, allowing branches, trunks, and even smaller limbs to remain remarkably well preserved for more than a century. White Desert, Egypt. White Desert National Park is located near the Farafra Oasis, between the Bahariya and Farafra regions of Egypt. The first impression is often one of disbelief. In some places, the landscape resembles a vast field blanketed in snow. In others, it looks more like the surface of a distant planet. Millions of years ago, this entire region lay beneath an ancient sea. During that time, marine organisms accumulated on the seafloor, gradually forming thick layers of limestone over an immense span of time. As geological changes caused the waters to retreat, these rocks were exposed to the harsh desert climate. For countless centuries, sand-laden winds slowly sculpted every formation. The result of this patient work of nature is an astonishing collection of rock formations that appear to have been carved by a giant sculptor. None of them were created by human hands. Every curve, pillar, and arch was shaped solely by the combined forces of time, wind, and erosion. Some of the rock formations resemble giant mushrooms. Others look like animals walking across the horizon, towering pillars, or even faces silently watching those who pass by. Imagination becomes part of the experience because it is rare for two people to see exactly the same shapes. The colors of the landscape also change dramatically throughout the day. Under the intense morning sun, the white limestone reflects the light with an almost blinding brilliance. As the afternoon progresses, shades of gold, orange, and pink gradually emerge, completely transforming the scenery. After sunset, when temperatures drop quickly, the moon often illuminates the formations so brightly that they appear to glow from within. The contrast between the dark sky and the brilliant white ground creates a peaceful atmosphere unlike almost any other natural setting. Its designation as a protected area has helped preserve this extraordinary geological treasure. The national park seeks to balance tourism with environmental conservation, ensuring that future generations will encounter the same remarkable landscape that continues to fascinate travelers from around the world. Doong Cave. Some places impress because of their height, while others stand out because of their sheer size. Doong Cave possesses both qualities on a scale that is difficult to comprehend, even after seeing photographs. Its interior is so enormous that entire sections could easily accommodate a full city block of buildings. The cave is located within Phong Nha Bang National Park in central Vietnam, a region of ancient limestone mountains recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. For centuries, the dense jungle concealed this immense underground chamber beneath its thick vegetation. In 1990, a local farmer named Ho Kan was searching for timber when he heard the sound of a powerful river disappearing into the mountain. Without proper equipment and faced with complete darkness, he decided to return home. For many years, no one was able to relocate the entrance. It was not until 2009, after an extensive search carried out with British cave explorers, that the opening was finally rediscovered. The first expeditions revealed something completely unexpected: the largest known cave on Earth by volume, with dimensions far exceeding anything previously documented. The cave's measurements help illustrate its astonishing scale. In some sections, the ceiling rises more than 650 feet, while the width reaches approximately 500 feet. The explored passage extends for more than 5.5 miles, although specialists believe additional sections of the underground system may still remain undiscovered. Perhaps the most extraordinary feature is that the cave contains its own independent ecosystem. In several locations, parts of the ceiling naturally collapsed over thousands of years, creating enormous skylights. Sunlight pours through these openings, allowing trees, ferns, mosses, and many other plants to thrive. As a result, an isolated rainforest developed deep inside the mountain, sustained by constant humidity and its own unique microclimate. The underground river continues to play a fundamental role in shaping the cave. For millions of years, its waters have slowly dissolved the limestone, expanding vast chambers and carving new passageways. This geological process continues today, although at a pace that is almost impossible to perceive on a human timescale. Lençóis Maranhenses, Brazil. At first glance, it seems almost impossible to believe that so much water can exist in the middle of an endless sea of sand. The landscape completely overturns one of the most common ideas about deserts. Instead of an arid environment, thousands of crystal-clear lagoons appear between brilliant white dunes. Lençóis Maranhenses stretches across a vast section of Brazil's Maranhão coastline and forms one of the country's most extraordinary natural landscapes. The national park protects approximately 383,000 acres, where wind and water have worked together for thousands of years to create a landscape that is never exactly the same twice. The story begins far from the dunes themselves. The Parnaíba River, the Preguiças River, and numerous smaller waterways carry enormous amounts of sediment into the Atlantic Ocean. Ocean currents spread this sand along the coastline, while powerful winds push it back onto the mainland. Over time, towering dunes rise, some reaching dozens of feet in height. During the rainy season, rainwater becomes trapped between these dunes because an impermeable layer of soil lies just beneath the surface. Instead of draining away, the water collects to form the famous freshwater lagoons that completely transform the landscape for several months each year. Viewed from above, the dunes resemble an immense white sheet spread across the landscape. It was precisely this flowing appearance that inspired the name Lençóis, which means bed sheets in Portuguese. The graceful curves sculpted by the wind create the impression that the sand has been carefully shaped by hand. The lagoons vary in size, depth, and color. Some display vivid shades of blue, while others reflect a translucent green that changes with the angle of the sun. As the months pass and temperatures rise, many of these lagoons gradually disappear until the next rainy season, allowing the landscape to be reborn year after year. Wadi Rum Valley. Whenever I look at this place, I understand why so many people call it the Valley of the Moon. Yet to me, it doesn't feel lunar. It feels profoundly earthly, raw, ancient, and deeply marked by the passage of time. Wadi Rum lies in southern Jordan, near the border with Saudi Arabia. It is a protected desert landscape composed of sandstone and granite mountains, vast sandy corridors, narrow canyons, natural arches, and towering cliffs that rise from the desert floor like enormous fortresses. This is not an empty desert. It is layered with history, scars, ancient inscriptions, and the traces of civilizations that crossed these rocks long before modern roads existed. The wind works here like a patient sculptor. It smooths sharp edges, opens deep cracks, polishes towering walls, and carries the red sand across the broad valleys. The distinctive color comes primarily from iron-rich minerals that give the landscape its striking rust-colored appearance. Throughout the day, Wadi Rum constantly changes its character. In the morning, the mountains glow with golden hues. By midday, they become stark, dry, and almost white beneath the intense sunlight. As evening approaches, the entire landscape bursts into shades of red, orange, and copper. I find it difficult to look at this place without feeling a deep sense of respect. It is not a comforting kind of beauty. It is a beauty that carries weight. For generations, the Bedouin people have known this land intimately. To them, Wadi Rum is far more than a spectacular landscape. It is a route, a refuge, a living memory, and a means of survival. Their traditions, desert camps, stories, and remarkable navigation skills remain an essential part of the identity of this extraordinary desert. On the walls of several canyons, ancient petroglyphs and rock carvings still remain. Human figures, animals, and mysterious symbols etched into the stone reveal that this landscape once served as a travel route, a refuge, and a gathering place for early civilizations. In many ways, the rock itself has become an open-air historical archive. The film industry also found an extraordinary setting in Wadi Rum. Movies such as Lawrence of Arabia helped introduce the valley to audiences around the world, while numerous science fiction productions have used its towering red mountains to portray distant planets. That says a great deal about this place. It feels both completely real and almost otherworldly at the same time. Kelimutu Lake. Kelimutu Lake possesses a remarkable feature that sets it apart from almost anywhere else on Earth. 3 lakes, located side by side within the same volcanic crater, display completely different colors. At certain times, one lake may appear turquoise, another emerald green, and the third almost black or a deep crimson red. Even more astonishing, these colors are not permanent. They naturally change over the years, sometimes within just a few months, transforming the landscape without any human intervention. Kelimutu is located on the island of Flores in eastern Indonesia, a region shaped by intense volcanic activity over millions of years. The volcano rises to an elevation of approximately 5,400 feet and dominates the surrounding landscape. The hike to the summit is relatively manageable, but the trail passes through tropical forests, drifting mist, wind-twisted trees, and an ever-deepening silence as the elevation increases. The lakes were given names rooted in the ancient beliefs of the Leo people, who have lived in this region for centuries. To them, these waters have never been merely geological features. They represent different destinations for souls after death. Tiwu Atambupu is believed to be the resting place of the spirits of the elderly. Tiwu Nua Muriku Fai is said to receive the souls of young people. Tiwu Atapolo has traditionally been associated with spirits believed to have lived troubled or immoral lives. I find it fascinating how nature and spirituality remain deeply connected in this place. Even in an age shaped by modern science, these traditions continue to be respected by the local community. Although tourism has steadily increased, many of these traditions remain unchanged. In fact, many visitors only begin to understand the true significance of Kelimutu after learning that, for the people who live here, these lakes represent something far greater than a spectacular natural attraction. Tassili, Naja National Park. Before visiting Tassili Naja National Park, I imagined the Sahara as an endless sea of sand, with very little variation from one horizon to the next. It takes only a few minutes in this landscape to realize how mistaken that assumption is. Here, the desert appears to have been sculpted by an extraordinarily patient artist. Towering rock pillars, natural arches, narrow canyons, and immense cliffs rise in every direction, creating a landscape that feels more like another planet than northern Africa. The park is located in southeastern Algeria, near the borders with Libya, Niger, and Mali. Covering approximately 28,000 square miles, it is one of the largest protected areas in Africa. Despite its immense size, only a small portion of the park is regularly visited, as much of the territory remains extremely remote and difficult to access. What fascinates me most is the incredible age of these rock formations. They began taking shape hundreds of millions of years ago, when ancient seas covered this part of the planet. Later came tectonic activity, relentless wind erosion, and dramatic climate changes that completely transformed the environment. Every layer of sandstone preserves evidence of this extraordinary geological history. Even today, the wind continues its work without interruption. Grain by grain, it wears away the rock, carves narrow passageways, and enlarges natural caves. The process unfolds so slowly that visitors can barely notice it, yet over the centuries, it continuously reshapes the landscape. It is remarkable to think that the greatest sculptor of this place uses no tools, only time. Among all the features that make Tassili Naja so extraordinary, one stands above all the others: its prehistoric rock art. Thousands of paintings are scattered throughout rock shelters, caves, and cliff faces protected from direct sunlight. Many were created more than 8,000 years ago, forming one of the largest and most significant collections of prehistoric rock art ever discovered anywhere in the world. I hope you enjoyed this collection of unique and breathtaking places. Before you go, I invite you to watch another video we've selected especially for you.